How's everybody doing? Good? Oh, all right. It's a really big deal. And just real fast, I want to tell you, if you don't know, 36 Degrees North, we are the hub for entrepreneurship, startups, remote workers in the Tulsa region. For a chance for $1 million. Right? Which tells you, I think, that we're doing some good things in Oklahoma. We're growing some good companies. We've got some really great entrepreneurs. We had over 100 applicants from across the state, which is a lot of applicants, a lot of startups. So we should give ourselves and you guys a hand for that, right? And to that, we had an incredible group of selection judges to help go through all of those applicants, narrow it down to our final 10 that you're going to have today. So I want to thank all of our selection judges who helped to do that along the way. A lot of them are here in the audience. You can raise your hand if you want to, but thank you all. Their names are on the flyer as well. I'm not going to go through all 10, but they helped really get from that group of over 100 men to 10 today. It's fantastic. We're also thrilled to have 4 great judges in person with us today. Our finalist judges, the ones that are going to make the decision of who gets to go to San Francisco. And I'm going to announce them and who they're with, just so everyone kind of knows who the judges are and what they're doing. The first, on my right, your left, Aaron Bean with a Semio. Aaron, thank you for being here. Next to him is Susan Mooring with Cortado Ventures. Susan, thank you. Next to Susan is Anita Lee. Anita was Generator in OKC. Thank you, Anita, for being here. And last but certainly not least, our friend Dominic Artis with Act House. Dominic, thank you for being here. And doing something like this, putting an event like this on, takes a lot of people. And I want to thank all of our volunteers here in the back. Volunteers, there's some folks here from Stride Bank in the back and some other folks all over. Thank you for being here. Thank you for volunteering, making this happen. And then I want to thank all of our sponsors that really come together to help us put this event on and make it possible for us to send the winner to San Francisco. Those are OCAST. OCAST, thank you very much for sponsoring today. Thank you, Jennifer. Cabin Boys Breweries, which is next door. They're going to be hosting our after party, so make sure you get a chance to go over there afterwards. A lot of food, a lot of drinks, should be fun. The Verge in OKC, Kristen, thank you very much for being our presenting sponsor. Thank you. Cortado Ventures is a sponsor today. Cortado, thank you. The MidCon VC Summit, let's thank the MidCon for being here as well and sponsoring. That's you too, yeah. Bank of Oklahoma, thank you very much for being a sponsor today. And finally, the just named Oklahoma Commercialization Network. Thank you for being a sponsor as well too. We're really excited. Okay, I am going to get off the stage. But before I do, I want to introduce Julian, who is here from Startup World Cup. He traveled all the way from San Francisco. He works for Pegasus Ventures, and he's going to get up and tell you a little bit about Startup World Cup, what it means, and the investment thesis. So, Julian, welcome to Tulsa.
Welcome, everybody. Hello. Thank you for coming out today to the Startup World Cup event. And like you said, this is our first time coming out to Tulsa. Thank you. Coming out to Tulsa, Oklahoma, so excited to see all the startups that are going to be presenting today and who's going to be winning today's regional event. So, just a little bit about the Startup World Cup. So the Startup World Cup is the largest startup conference in competition in the world. We actually host regional events across 50 different countries, and each regional winner has an opportunity to be able to compete in Silicon Valley for a chance to win our $1 million investment prize. So definitely exciting. So just a little bit about myself. My name is Julian Morin. I am an investor at Pegasus Tech Venture, as well as an ambassador for the Startup World Cup. And we welcome you guys out here today to Tulsa for the regional event. And we appreciate you guys taking the time to come out here and hear the top startups in Tulsa for the first time around, have a chance to be able to compete for that $1 million investment prize. So first, I want to give a special thanks out to our regional partners, 36 Degrees North, for helping bring out the Startup World Cup to Tulsa, Oklahoma. So thank you guys. Next, I'd like to give a special thanks out to our global gold sponsor, Natera, of the Startup World Cup. They are a global company with businesses spanning across North America, Asia, and Europe, as well as being a corporate LP for, of course, Pegasus, where we actually manage their dedicated innovation fund. And just a little bit about Pegasus. So Pegasus has invested in over 260 startup companies, as well as we are a founder and organizer of the Startup World Cup. We also have 2 billion assets under management, and some of our more notable investments have been, as you can see over here, SpaceX, DoorDash, Airbnb, SoFi, Robinhood, amongst many more. And of course, with that, we of course want to commit to investing into more opportunities and more startup ecosystems across the world. So we span across, of course, North America, Asia, and Europe as well. So in our 2024 cycle, we do anticipate around 10,000 startup applications across 50 different countries, as well as 50,000 attendees across all of our regional events, of course, for a chance to be able to compete and win that $1 million investment prize. So while the investment prize is great and instrumental to these startup companies having an opportunity to be able to grow and reach that next stage in their cycle, we also do want to highlight the value add opportunity of actually winning one of our regional events. You have a chance to be able to put yourself in front of 2,500 prominent investors, media, as well as get a potential opportunity for funding. One of actually the startups from last year had the opportunity to secure $25 million in funding, and they didn't even win the actual grand event. So definitely some opportunity there. And of course, an opportunity to put yourself in front of marketing and partnership opportunities there as well. So what is our mission with today's regional startup competition? Well, we want to foster the discovery of innovation, as well as promote the spirit of entrepreneurship, connect these global startups to, of course, investors, customers, and talent, and last but not least, showcase these startups in front of top media outlets, just like I mentioned before, to hopefully gain those opportunities to gain some funding. So in our 2024 cycle, we did begin in New Delhi, India, and with collaboration with our corporate partner, Trescon, and we also hit locations such as Brazil, Ethiopia, Vietnam, as well as Georgia, all the way to Bangladesh, and even Boston, France, and Kyoto, Japan, amongst many other locations as well too. So definitely a lot of cool spots around the globe, and a lot of people will be competing for this chance to win this $1 million. So just a little bit about the grand finale event and what to expect. There's going to be over 20 world-class speakers, over 200 investors and corporate executives. Of course, one person will have an opportunity to win that $1 million investment prize, and over 3,000 attendees that will consist of global startups, media, and of course tech. So a little bit of continuation on the grand finale event. It is going to be a 3-day series that begins on October 2nd, ends on October 4th. October 2nd is going to be the semi-finale event, which will then be followed by a series of workshops on October 3rd. And then October 4th will be the big day, the grand finale event. We will, of course, wrap this 3-day series up with a networking party, and this will all be hosted in downtown San Francisco at the Hilton in Union Square. So as you can see, we've received tremendous support from luminaries in the top tech community. These are some of our panelist speakers from this past year. We've had co-founder of Apple, Steve Wozniak, as well as co-founder of Netflix, Mark Rudolph, and even John Chambers, who is the chairman emeritus of Cisco, amongst many other great speakers. And of course, expect a great panel of speakers this year as well. And of course, we've had a great panel of judges from last year, top VC, as well as accelerators and incubators. Last year we had YC Combinators, former president Geoff Ralston, as well as founder of DFJ, Tim Draper, and founder of Techstars, David Cohen, amongst many other great judges. And of course, this year we will have a great panel of judges that will be selecting our grand finale champion. So So just to give you a little insight on who were some of our previous winners. Of course, there are a couple of years that are missing there just due to COVID, unfortunately, but beginning in 2017 was our first winner. It was a Japanese-based startup, and they were focused on educational robotics. Our second winner was a US-based company out of Boston, which was focused in the life science area on monitoring for cancer patients. Our third winner was a Vietnam-based company focused on AI-based logistics. And fourth was a Canadian-based startup focused on creating new materials for textiles. And last year's winner was another Japanese-based startup focused on using AI for diagnosing various medical conditions. So as a regional winner, you have an opportunity to be able to actually meet the rest of the Pegasus team, as well as Bill Riker, who is a partner and chief evangelist of the Startup World Cup. Bill Riker has successfully exited 2 startups as an entrepreneur, as well as accumulated over 20 plus years of experience in venture capital. So definitely a lot of knowledge there. If you want to learn more about Bill and his Silicon Valley pitch secrets for startups, you can find his book on Amazon. So just a little bit about what to expect for today. We are going to have 4 minutes per startup, followed by a 2-minute Q&A session. From there, after all the startups go, all the judges will come together, finalize the scores, then we will come out and congratulate today's winner for the event. But first, I would like to give a special thanks out to our judges. Thank you again, Dominic, as well as Anita, Susan, and Aaron for coming out today and helping select today's winner and helping out with today's event. We really appreciate it. So now, if you guys would like to just get your own teaser on your own side, I'll leave this up for a little bit. You can scan the QR code. It's a little video on just what to expect at the grand finale event. Pretty cool. I recommend taking a look at it. Yeah, if you guys have a chance, I'll just leave it up for a little bit. But really cool. Definitely recommend it. The chance to take it out and take a look at it. Definitely going to be some cool opportunities to network out there, meet some great people, chance for funding, as well as a great opportunity to just see what's really going on in the market right now, what is up and coming. So now I'm going to pass it off to Sean, who is actually going to be introducing today's startups. So thank you guys for having the time.
All right. Thank you so much, Julian. We are so excited to have you here. Thank you so much for coming. Just quick reiteration, 4 minutes pitching and 2 minutes questions and answers by the judges. And then we will have a great night, a great evening. But I won't wait so much time. I will introduce the first person. And we have Weaver Labs.
Hi, my name is Joel Rourke, and this is Jimmy Weaver. Let's go back. So, PFAS is a class of chemicals numbering in the thousands that were designed for specific applications like Teflon, Scotchguard, Gore-Tex, firefighting foams, and fast food wrappers. However, these same properties that make them good for those applications make them persist in the environment, meaning that when they're in landfills and waterways, they don't naturally break down. That's why they're called forever chemicals. And after 70 years of use and release, they've accumulated and they're now in us. Studies show that they're actually in every one of us. And the American Medical Association has linked exposure to autoimmune diseases, to thyroid issues, to fertility problems, to low birth weights in children, and cancers. Technologies that exist weren't designed for these technologies. Our technology was.
Yeah, so Floor Mop is the name of our solution, and so it was specifically designed for PFAS removal from water, and it is a regenerative material which allows us to give a cost advantage to our customers, and it targets both the long chain PFAS entities as well as the short chain PFAS entities. We tested it against GAC and IX, so those are granular activated carbon and ion exchange resins. And these are the leading competitors, right, that exist in the market. Our stuff outperforms them remarkably, and it hits both of them, which they just really failed to be able to do for all of those, the existing solutions. Anyway, this was done in real-world water, Singapore spaces, and so it really solves the real problem. It's not a lab-based solution. And so this has been validated by a third party, Pace Analytical, who's EPA certified for PFAS analysis. It's been peer reviewed and published, and there's a patent pending on it, and it's technology agnostic, which means it can seamlessly integrate into everyone's existing solutions.
So the key takeaways here are the total addressable market is $200 billion, and the market is broken down into segments, and each segment has to be cleaned up, and it has to remove PFAS, which is our target application.
So the product development, where we are. So we spent several years really, developing and the chemistry, the surface chemistry, but we use silica that we attach it to covalently, and then most recently we have been working on the size optimization for the specific application of water remediation. And this is an SEM image over here on the right, which shows that we have gotten the right particle size for the job that we need to get done. And so this material will allow us to hit the EPA maximum contaminant level goals that have been set recently. And so we're ready to move into full-scale applications.
Martin Hillen is our CEO. Martin is a proven water executive. He just recently successfully brought a technology from Europe to the U.S. market. Jimmy Weaver is a professor of chemistry and a recognized expert in the world for organofluorines. My background is in technology startups and business management. I started a company in 1994 that started with 2 people, grew to 200. We took some hedge fund dollars and rolled up 17 companies, went public in 2007, and then sold in 2010. Meyakun Adeli is a senior scientist for us, and Richard Lentz is a BS chemist.
So the status quo, activated carbon and ion exchange, we already obliterate their work. The real competition comes in the new emerging selective absorbents like our own. And there's only a handful of these around the world, and we think that we have the best. All right, stop. No, I think she already gave us the 1 minute. All right, we're done.
That's it?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, well, we're happy to take questions, but we need to, yeah.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you. Now to our judges.
Any questions?
Any questions?
Oh, okay, here we go. Who's the buyer?
So water remediation contractors, A&E companies that have existing applications at like military bases or municipalities, so water systems. There's about 137 water systems in the U.S. They're all going to have to meet the levels that the EPA set.
Okay, on kind of leaning off of that a little bit, how do you plan to make money?
So we're going to make a product in volume, and we're going to sell it through partnerships and direct to customers. So it's a large-scale product. We're going to sell. We're going to compete against GAC and ion exchange resins.
Particularly with this product and selling it to the municipalities and also people in the water sanitization who are actually remediating all the chemicals within water. The question I have is, like, what are you looking at selling the product for? But what is your margin on this product at particular volumes at which you can sell it?
We believe we can hit 80% margins at volume.
Is there any way to leverage from B to B into B2C space and sell direct to consumers and compete with filtering systems?
So, if you filter it at a house, you got to do something with it. So, so that's why we'd rather filter at the municipality. So they can filter it, we trap it, and then we hold it. So, and then we regenerate. So we actually have to have a barrel to move it into. So the idea is that you take PFAS in Lake Michigan and you turn it into a swimming pool.
Yep.
It's not approved yet. It's in process. It's a non-provisional. So it's in process.
All right. Thank you so much. A round of applause for Weaver Labs. The next company is supposed to be Fiogen, but unfortunately they couldn't make it because they had an emergency So we're going to move to the next company, Intact Technologies. But I just want to remind us that it's 4 minutes for the pitch and 2 minutes Q&A by the judges. Unfortunately, the great audience will not be able to ask questions this time. Thank you so much. Now, Intact Technologies.
Hi, Priyan Jaswal, Oklahoma State geology professor, Intact. By a show of hands, how many of you wear any kind of health monitoring device like a Fitbit? Excellent, we are building Fitbit for buildings. Now, you tie a Fitbit to a dog, a horse, a chameleon, a snake, it will work. Exactly the same way, you tie this technology, you put this technology on a wind turbine, you put it on a bridge, you put it on a building, you put it on anything, it will tell you when it's going to fail. Why do we need this? Well, all human structures, we know that for a lot of them, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. For example, when they build high-rises in Tokyo, they know that it's going to be vacated at some point because of the consistent earthquakes. This will tell when and how soon. Okay, well, the solution is, you put these simple devices. These are 3-component accelerometers and gyroscopes. Install them at strategic locations. You monitor the data and telemetry continuously, cloud computation, use. The secret sauce is our algorithm, machine learning based algorithm that can basically predict when the signal is going to behave erratically. Now, it has plenty of applications, but this we are using the example of wind turbines. So in Oklahoma alone, we have about 3,736. That's a little bit outdated. Now we have a little bit more. And then in the US offshore, onshore 70,000. The total available market in the world, 400,000 wind turbines standing today. And then if you bring bridges and dams into picture, the market, we are looking at about $60 billion, more than $60 billion per year. We have installations going on through strategic partnerships. This is the image of the oldest church in Puebla City. On 19th September, they would be celebrating is not the right word, but they would be commemorating the 2 great earthquakes. Our instruments are on these buildings. This is me and the Minister of Civil Works in Dominican Republic. Caribbean is a little bit more worried about their buildings falling down than, let's say, Oklahoma. But there are so many places in the world where the danger is imminent, especially with the climate change. People want to know how much acid is going to be over time. Team compressors are fully at a company. We compete directly with structural health monitoring firms and indirectly with visual inspectors. In fact, our technologies help visual inspection, but we do compete at some level with them. The total market for these things are over $10 billion annually in this country and over $100 billion in the world. Our business model is subscription-based. So basically, we install the devices and people buy. Think about Carfax. You are going to buy a building or a car. You basically invest into Carfax. The same thing like this. We collect data and then we sell data to the owners, the buyers, whoever wants to look at how their asset is going to perform over time. At this point, the technology was developed using a grant from NSF. We have another grant. It's called ICORE for customer discovery. And now we are done.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Now we go to the judges.
Great presentation. For your device, how many are necessarily needed per square foot pertaining to structures? I know that your go-to-market strategy is focusing on windmills first, but in large structures like bridges and buildings, like how many square feet actually cover in the next presentation. Sorry about that.
How can I go back here? I just want to quickly show this, and that will give you the answer. Here we have those little circles on the bridges and the dams. These are the locations. So about 6 or 7, depending on the length of the bridge. And then in skyscrapers, depending on how the structure changes, we put at the stress junctions, basically.
So who's the buyer?
Yeah, the buyer. So, for example, wind turbines, the wind turbine, the wind farm operators. Because see what happens, each blade costs about $300,000. Even if one blade goes off slightly, it crushes the bearing. So in order to monitor that the electricity production is consistent and top notch, they want to know the structural health of the blade. So for wind turbines, it's especially the wind farm owners.
So what can they, or what do they do with the data? Can that influence specific types of repairs, or is it just nice to know when something needs to be replaced?
No. Predictive maintenance. So you can call, you know when your blade is going to fail, or when the blade has started cracking, or when it is offset. So you can call the maintenance to make sure your wind turbine is performing top notch.
So in relationship to other products that are on the market, how much more accurate is your product comparatively to theirs? And I know that there's video spatial recognition that's actually being done to actually assess this problem now. So how does that compare in respects to that?
Yeah, so to the best of our assessment, it's 10% cheaper and 50% faster. And the speed comes from the algorithm and also the cloud computing.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you. And now we'll invite ParaNano. Sorry, now we're Palm Plug. Sorry, I'm getting too excited myself. Thank you.
Every year, over 15 million people globally experience a stroke. In the United States, that number is over 800,000. Now, to understand the severity of this is more than the entire population of a city like San Francisco, and definitely more than the entire population of a city like Tulsa. Now, 87% of people who experience a stroke experience mobility issues. This impacts their abilities to do even the most basic tasks like opening a door, eating, or putting on their clothes. Yet, without physical therapy, it's almost impossible to regain mobility. And physical therapists are only able to treat patients just once or twice a week due to several factors that limit their ability to treat patients outside of a clinical setting. So how do we fix this problem? Well, my name is Ola Adesanya, and I'm the founder and CEO of PalmPlug. And at PalmPlug, we've done something that's truly remarkable. We've developed a multi-sensory wearable that's designed to unlock the power of the human hand. PalmPlug is packed with sensors that understands every activity going on in the hand. And we not only track the hand, we also have the ability to stimulate the hands through haptic feedback. Now, PalmPlug integrates with TheraPlay, a health arcade that's filled with interactive exercises that patients can engage in from the comfort of their home. And as they engage in these exercises, that data is fed to a dashboard that a physical therapist can use to monitor and treat patients remotely. So how big is this market? Well, this is a $46 billion market. Every year, over 300 million physical therapy sessions happen. And 60% of these sessions happen at an outpatient center, so in a clinic, while 20% happen at home. And our goal at PalmPlug is to bridge the gap between outpatient care and home care, and this is valued at $9 billion. So how do we generate revenue? Well, each unit of PalmPlug sells for $500, and if you're trying to get a full body tracking solution, that retails for $5,500. And we also provide TheraPlay on a subscription model to physical therapy centers starting at $2,000, and this varies depending on the size of the clinic. So why would a physical therapy center want to use a technology like this? Well, fundamentally, it allows them to treat more patients. And as they're able to treat more patients, they get reimbursed through CPT codes for things like neuromuscular re-education, remote therapy monitoring, physical therapy assessments, and more. So who's doing this today? Well, we do have competition. Penumbra currently has the solution deployed, But as you can see, one of the biggest opportunities that we have is that we've been able to extend this solution not just to the full body, but to the hands and fingers. So what's our journey been like? Today we've raised over $400,000. This money has been used towards developing the product. And today I'm excited to share that PalmPlug is currently being produced, and we expect it to complete production by November. Not only have we been able to build this product, we've also been able to secure the patents for this, not just in the United States, but across 7 different countries in Europe. Now, earlier this year, we unveiled PalmPlug at CES, and PalmPlug was listed by Wired as one of the top 10 products unveiled for the year. And since then, we've been able to amass a wait list of over 500 different institutions, some of them have even gotten access to some of our early pilots. And now, like I said earlier, the biggest milestone to date is actually being able to produce this at scale. Manufacturing just one product and manufacturing this at scale are 2 different muscle groups, and this is our biggest milestone yet. So starting next year, we're excited to now transition into putting PalmPlug in the hands of customers and starting pilot programs. So behind all of this amazing work has been an amazing team. Something that you notice is our team all come from rich backgrounds, and we've been able to take our industry experience into building this technology. So if you're excited about the future and you want to unlock the power of the human hand, well, we'd love to connect with you. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Now to our judges.
Thank you. Great presentation. Question, what kinds of exercises can you do, and what kind of exercises would not be appropriate for this technology?
Yeah, so essentially we have trackers that you can wear, not just on the hands, but the full body. So anything you do, it could be, and a lot of this is developed into games. So sometimes the physical therapist wants you to move your hand up, and they want to be able to track, like day 1, you could probably just do this, and a week into therapy, maybe you're able to get here. We create games that allow you to do those exercises, and as you do it from the comfort of your home, we're learning, we're collecting data on like where you are in your journey, and that's fed to a dashboard that patients, physical therapists can see.
So, am I correct that the PT clinic is the buyer?
Correct.
So, is this for them? Is it a way to generate additional revenue? Is it a way to cut costs? Is it a way to just provide better service? Like, what's the value proposition when you pitch to these clinics?
Sure. So the big problem is there's just so many patients you can treat in a clinic. And there's a lot of money that's lost because you can't treat a patient at home. In fact, what happens today is if you've ever been to a physical therapy center, they give you a video on the exercises you're supposed to do when you get home. And that's where the lost opportunity is. With PalmPlug, we're able to turn that video into a game that you play, and we're able to feed that data back into the system. Now, because we're able to provide that data of how the patient is exercising, there are CPT codes that directly apply to this. And this include things like neuromuscular re-education, physical therapy evaluations, and those healthcare, like physical therapy centers, get reimbursed for that.
So, quick follow-up, do they have the infrastructure to be able to do this? Like, are they already, yeah, I guess answer that. Does this add a ton of workflow for them?
No, this is our CPT codes that already exist. What our technology is doing is providing visibility to that. Here's the data, and it logs that data, and they're able to treat more patients. So this is something that's already out there. Yeah.
What are the margins on this?
So we're about to start pilots. That's something that is going to be kicking off next year. So there's still a lot of research we need to do on that.
Within any type of trials or studies that you all have done, particularly with the individuals that have actually incurred stroke, what is the kind of the rate of improvement that you have seen of the individuals that have used PalmPlug?
So we're yet to kick off pilots. However, what we're doing is we're taking the games, the videos that physical therapists already use, and we're turning those videos into games. So the data on how effective those are going to translate directly into the solution.
And when do you think you guys will be able to start those trials?
January.
Okay.
All right. Thank you so much. Next up, ParaNano.
What is one thing all humans have in common? We're all going to get a wound at some point in our lives. Unfortunately, the world of wound care is anything but easy, but my company, ParaNano, is developing the world's first smart bandage to help. Medicare spends nearly $100 billion a year on wound care. This is driven largely because of wound infections. Why are infections occurring? Well, the current standard of care is clinical signs and symptoms. Is there fever, exudate, swelling, etc.? These are subjective and extremely fallible, leading to infections not being caught before they have spread, resulting in expensive and lethal outcomes. The industry lacks the ability to detect an early infection before those clinical signs and symptoms show up and infection has spread, until we created the BioeZ Smart Bandage. The BioeZ is a wearable, flexible nanofiber membrane that visually changes color from yellow to green with no wires, batteries, or device. It provides continuous wound monitoring so that both patients and clinicians of any skill level can detect infection in any setting. This is truly smart wound care. If antibiotics are the fire extinguisher of medicine, think of the BioeZ as a smoke detector. It provides you with a clear yes signal that there's something going on and you need to go back to see your provider to get treatment. Now, we have two committed first customers in this space, one for long-term care and one for the VA. This results in over $6 million in revenue in our first official year. We're going to provide this in a kit format for over-the-counter use. It's going to be $30 MSRP with a distributor discount. This is a competitive price point for us and provides a really healthy profit margin. We're also actively looking for additional customer lines and market segments to enter into, such as GPOs, IDNs, durable medical equipment suppliers. And our regulatory pathway is simple. We're actually a Class 1 medical device, so we just have to self-register and no 510K FDA approval required. We have tightly focused our market analysis on our two first customers, and these numbers are only set to grow as the US population continues to age and require care. The wound care diagnostic space is largely untapped as well, with only one new entrant in the United States with traction, Moleculite. Otherwise, there's just the current standards of care, which I mentioned are fallible and subjective. The BioeZ is the only product that provides continuous wound monitoring and that visual alert before those clinical signs and symptoms present. Now, I'm Chelsea Luxon. I'm CEO and co-founder of this project, and I have 9 years of medtech entrepreneurship experience with 6 years now in wound care. My co-founder and CTO is named inventor of some of our patents that we license, and is also registered patent agent and has 3 successful previous startups under his belt as well. The rest of my team is comprised of PhD researchers, MDs, professionals who have deep knowledge of the med tech and specifically wound care space. We are also backed by strategic partners including Johnson & Johnson Innovation, BARDA through the Blue Knight program, and the Defense Health Agency. Now, we are raising $1 million in a seed round. This is going to get us from where we are today through the rest of our FDA process and set us up for a successful Series A in the first quarter or second quarter of 2025. Smart wound care is the way of the future. Imagine a technology that can change the way infection is detected for an entire industry. ParaNano offers just that. With our dedicated team, strategic partners, and successful testing conducted, we are ready to take our place as the first and easiest smart wound care product on the market. Thank you.
All right.
A couple of quick questions. So one, could you educate us on how, like the size of the wounds that this bandage lash will be able to actually take care of?
Yes.
And then the second follow-up question I have to that is, you spoke about how your solution will actually be able to detect infections, but how, compared to the other products that you actually listed, how does your product actually enable the speed of the wound to actually heal faster compared to the others?
Great question. So first, the first question is wound size. So we found that a 2 centimeter by 2 centimeter square, as long as it is in contact with wound exudate or wound fluid, it will change color. So for smaller wounds, you can put it directly on top of the wound. For larger wounds, it just needs to be in contact with something.
So is that like a paper cut, like
Sure.
a gash?
We're looking at
Okay.
this, sure, that's a great question. Chronic wound care is our main focus, or post-op surgery wounds. Those are going to be the biggest issues here for infection. And so again, any size, 2 centimeter by 2 centimeter square. So the way that we actually enable the detection is, instead of a host response, which the majority of those competitors are detecting, we are actually going down to the bacteria and fungal strains themselves. We detect a unique biomarker, pathogenic lipase. So as that's secreted by the pathogens, at a certain threshold, it will trigger that color change before a host response starts to appear.
So my question was in relationship to the speed of recovery, like that you're.
Oh, sure. So for FDA reasons, we are not claiming to speed up the healing process. We are just covering and protecting wounds. If a color change occurs, seek medical attention. Future products, we do intend to add that in second generation.
Who's the buyer?
The buyer. Okay, so we do have two buyers. We're looking at this for long-term care. The VA, DOD, we're also about to announce a very big partnership, can't mention it yet, with an acute care system, so post-op surgery wounds, as I mentioned.
Any plans to go direct to consumer on that eventually?
We've thought about that. Yes, not immediately. That requires a very thought-out, scaled-up process. And so eventually, we've spoken with Walgreens already about that, so yeah.
Is this a tech that could be licensed to every bandage company ever?
Great question.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're actually currently making the rounds to see if there is any interest. We're not necessarily going to license. We want to do like an Intel model, right? So for instance, if we partner with a large organization that already has established wounds care products, we can integrate this into already what they have and then say their product with the BioZ inside. Yes.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you. These are all great presentations. And honestly, all I can say is take my money. Right. So the next presentation is Bioeutectics.
Thank you. Well, hello everyone. My name is Tomás Elicaro. I'm CEO and co-founder of Bioeutectics. And to start, I want to ask you, what do all these pictures have in common? You may know it or not, but solvents. We absorb them, we breathe them, we eat them on a daily basis, and the truth is that it's insane. Solvents are a key additive for many products and industries, but they are making us sick and they are damaging the environment. And this needs to change. If we look at the solvents market today, we have the traditional or petrochemical solvents that are very toxic, risky to manage, and they generate a lot of dangerous waste. And even though biosolvents and ionic liquids appeared as greener solutions, the truth is that biosolvents only change the sustainability in the production process, while the final product is as toxic as the traditional ones. And ionic liquids are mainly not natural, and the very few that are so expensive that it's impossible to afford them in an industrial scale. Because of this, in Bioeutectics, we have developed a new generation of green solvents, being fully natural, biodegradable, and most importantly, cost-effective. But how do we do this? We use biomimetics basically to replicate how plants produce their own solvents, and we achieve that by adding our key differentiator factor, that is the natural eutectic technology. But how this technology works? By mixing two solid compounds, natural solid compounds, such as sugars, alcohols, amino acids, among many, many others, in very specific conditions and proportions, their melting point drops dramatically, generating physical interactions, mainly hydrogen bonds, that turns these two solids into a super stable liquid. And the super stable liquid is our bioeutectic solvent. To empower even more our solution, we have developed an AI platform that is allowing us to be much more efficient on the development process, turning it from months to minutes, giving us the digital availability of literally thousands and thousands of natural raw materials that we can mix and match to get our solutions. And the best part is that we are discovering new products for existing applications and for new ones as well. This gives us a lot of leverage among all these small companies that we have as competitors. But the truth is that the good news, they are all focusing on the traditional solutions, while we are the only company aiming natural eutectic solvents on an industrial scale. Today, we have more than 100 products fully validated by us with our patents already presented in the US and internationally that can replace many of the existing products. And we are already working with all these customers, testing our products and with many paid R&D projects. But the market opportunity is huge and solvents are everywhere, so we needed to start somewhere. Because of that, we selected these 4 verticals that are agrotech, personal care, cosmetics, and OTC, food ingredients, and green tech, where it's more like an industrial application. But what is important to highlight here is that the market of solvents is really, really big, and biosolvents already have 20% of the market being a very, very tiny solution and growing on a 40% rate. So once we can deliver our solution, it should be massive. Today we have our R&D or design lab in Mendoza, Argentina, and we have since March our commercial office and applications lab here in Tulsa, and next month, hopefully, our facility here in Tulsa, 5 minutes away from here, up and running to start producing. The founding team, myself, I have more than 20 years of experience in developing the markets of ingredients in LATAM, North America, Europe, and Asia, and my 3 co-founders, they have more than 30 years of experience in green chemistry, and they are all PhD in chemistry. They're real brains of the company, honestly. Just a little roadmap to know who we are. We've been incubated by GridX in 2021, accelerated by IndieBio New York in 2022, raised a seed round by the end of 2023. And for the 4 objectives that we had for 2024, we already accomplished the first 3, and hopefully we will accomplish the 4th one by the end of the year. And if everything goes well, and you want to join us, in 2025 we will be raising a Series A. Thank you very much. This is Bioeutectics.
Thank you. Now our judges.
Maybe this is more of a clarification question.
Yep.
So the solutions that you're creating, are they used for the development of more chemistry, or is it like industrial chemicals?
What we are doing is to replace all the chemicals that are being used in different type of industries. We are a B2B model by now, and we want to supply solutions in the shape of products, replacing, for example, ethanol, hexane, methanol, propylene glycol, xylols, and many, many more that are being used in the different industries.
Okay, and then so the value proposition of that is that this is a healthier, like, because it's bio. Am I understanding this correctly? Okay, so that's like safer for consumers.
It's
like
a
the
natural,
end product.
biodegradable, safe, and health solvent. That it's not what exists now.
So with that in mind, and thinking about the level of relationships, business, lobbyists, and the whole respects of the agricultural space, the question is, what chemical have you guys targeted to actually begin to attack first for your go-to-market strategy?
Mm-hmm.
Is it ethanol? Is it, I mean, you know the list, but which ones are you guys targeting first that will get you guys on boards for people to actually see the solution?
We have more than one, honestly. You mentioned ethanol, hexane, methanol. Those are the most common ones, but we divide it instead of targeting the product, targeting the industry. Why is that? Because of 2 things. First, because of the physicochemical composition that we have in our products, we are not going to have one bioeutectics product that can replace hexane in everything. So we need to target more the application than the product. And the second thing is regulation. In agrotech, you will last 3 years until you start selling because you need 2 crops plus 1 year of USDA. Personal care and cosmetics, I can sell tomorrow, not even asking. So you're focusing on personal care, cosmetics, OTC is the first, and food ingredients as well. If it's food contact, it's right away. If it's food ingredient, it's worse. That's why we are selling to the food ingredients producers.
How do you cost compare with the non-natural products, solvents?
We are very cost effective, and we could be almost parity, but we want to be cost premium because the product can give us that, and the market is willing to pay it, at least by now. Obviously, once we get more efficient, it will be easier to switch to a lower price and so on. But by now, we are really, really competitive. And in some cases, we don't need just to see the kg or liter versus liter, but the formula cost, because you can avoid some steps of the processes without needing to change machinery. But for example, you don't need to evaporate the solvent with ours because it's not risky.
All the logos you showed, what are you doing with them? What's the nature of those relationships?
We are doing more than one thing. I can tell some things because we have like 35, 40 NDAs signed.
Just give us one you can tell.
We are working with personal care and cosmetics for enhancing the penetration on skin for principal actives. We are trying to do better extractions without using any petrochemical to be used as a natural preservant, and many, many more. Thank you all.
All right. I'm not going to give a pitch, so that's pretty nice, huh? Let's give a hand to the first 5, though. Hey, how about that, right? It's a whirlwind. It's really, really tough to do a pitch in 4 minutes. It's really hard, and these guys have been doing a great job. Okay, I want to take just a second. We're going to briefly invite up our two presenting sponsors. We've got Kristen Garcia from The Verge in Oklahoma City and Jennifer McGrail from OCAS. I'd like to invite them up to come and talk a little bit about what they do. So.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for joining. It's so nice to see a full house. How many of you live in the Tulsa area? How many of you don't live in the Tulsa area? So a couple of hands. So thank you to everyone who came who doesn't live in Tulsa full time. But I'm with The Verge OKC. I'm the executive director. We are a new entrepreneurship hub in Oklahoma City. So in a way, you can think of it as Oklahoma City's answer to 36 degrees north, because we really truly believe in building out our ecosystem here in the state. If you went to the Bay Area, it would take you probably about an hour and a half to get from the East Bay to Palo Alto. So why not take an hour and a half to get from Oklahoma City to Tulsa if there's awesome resources in those communities? The Verge is really excited to partner with people such as OCAS, 36 Degrees North, and a number of partners here in this room. I think I saw I2E represented, and Generator, and Cortado Ventures, because it's really about all of us working together. It's important that you all know that there are resources throughout the whole state. So I also serve as the Global Entrepreneurship Week State Coordinator. So would love to get you all involved in GEW in November. But you all should have in your bags a postcard that is about The Verge. We are also moving into a new space this year. So it's really exciting that 36 Degrees and The Verge are growing, because we want to help more of you innovate and grow businesses here in the state of Oklahoma. On that card, there's a QR code if you would like to come co-work. So if you have a customer in the Oklahoma City area that you need to meet with and you don't want to go to a coffee shop, or if you need to do a board meeting or an investor pitch, we encourage you to use that code and come visit us. Make sure, though, with the code, you won't be an immediate come into the space, because since we're moving, we want to make sure that you know where you should be going when you come and you utilize that code. So really excited to see the continued pitches. Congratulations to everybody who has gotten this far, and to everyone who applied. Keep applying, keep connecting with the resources. We want to see you grow. Your first no should not be the reason for you to stop. So, okay.
Awesome. Thank you, Kristen. And I am with the Oklahoma Center for the Advancement of Science and Technology, and we are your state's organization that's working to ensure that Oklahoma innovators and entrepreneurs have that innovation ecosystem where that you can actually grow and keep your businesses here in Oklahoma. And so we've got a question for everybody. In this room, how many of you are founders or innovators? Give yourself that title. Okay. How many of you are some type of resource provider, whether that actually be somebody provides accounting, financial, any of those? How many of you purchase stuff on a daily basis? Seriously. So it takes each and every one of us in this room to keep our economy growing and moving strong. And I want you to know that all the fantastic stuff going on here in Tulsa today is happening all across the state of Oklahoma. So I want everyone to mark your calendars, April 8th and 9th of 2025 for the Oklahoma Innovation Conference and Expo. The first day is going to be our opportunity to get innovators, founders, resource partners, and anyone interested in innovation or entrepreneurship from across the state of Oklahoma together in one room to make those connections. Then the next day is just as important. The next day is our day at the Capitol. It's where we have the opportunity to show the members of the state legislature and our executive branch that innovation and entrepreneurship is possible here in Oklahoma, and it's their responsibility to make sure that we are building the economy to keep those businesses here. And so with that, congratulations to all of those that are pitching today. Congratulations to those of you in the room that are innovators and founders and are taking that next step to create those businesses. Most people have those ideas and they will never take that first step forward. So congratulations, and then I also have the fun piece to remind you, even when we're done here today, it's not the end of the party. Make sure to join us next door at Cabin Boys and have a couple of drinks, enjoy, network, and have lots of fun. And I think with that, I'm turning it back over to Reagan, and we're going to finish up the pitches. Thank you, everybody.
Are you guys having fun yet? Yeah, having fun. Can we give a round of applause for the people that have pitched so far? Man, it's so exciting to see people in the room. Thank you so much to our judges, to our sponsors again. Just thank you so much. But we are going to move on to our next round of pitches. So I have the very distinct honor and privilege of introducing next to the stage Titan Intake.
Woo, let's go Titan. Woo, Titan. Let's go.
Hello, everyone. At Titan Intake, we are on a mission to help 100 million patients gain access to quicker and better healthcare. We have invented a technology that understands medical records in the same way a nurse does. And we're using this technology to book patients into clinics, our clients, quicker, more accurately, and with a better patient experience. My name is Patrick Bruce, and I'm the co-founder of Titan Intake. And let me introduce you to the godfather of Titan Intake.
Thank you, Patrick. Imagine this. Today, you go to your primary care provider, you got a little pain in your knee, and then they say, we're going to have to send you to a specialist. You don't know where your referral went, who's the specialist you're going to see. All you know is that they sent it. You go home, 2-3 days go by, a week's gone by, the pain's still there, it's getting a little worse. So you start Googling, looking on WebMD. It tells you you're going to die. I'm sure everybody's experienced that. Then you hear finally from the provider, everybody was in the dark. But you know what? Not anymore, not with Titan.
That was the world before Titan. The world with Titan, on your way home from that doctor, you will get a text that says, we know why you've been sent, you've been processed, and your entire accurate record will be transferred over to that clinic, and you won't be filling out those maddening forms over and over again in the clinic. And our clients book more appointments and book more revenue. So what is our business model? We are B2B SaaS. We charge $400 per doctor per month. We have very strong unit economics, very investable company. And we have started our go-to-market. Healthcare is so big, and our first slice of the market is just independent specialists, and that market by itself is over $1 billion, and we're already being pulled up market into regional medical centers. We have 2 of them already, and the golden goose is getting into enterprise, and we already have 1 of those already. Woo! Here we go. But Jonathan, tell them about the competition.
Competition? We don't have any of that. But what was being done before, an antiquated tech, you had people having to adopt it on both sides. That never has any sort of traction. The best we've seen with that, 12%. Enterprise document management systems, everybody's probably like, what is that? Yeah. You have people offshore actually looking at medical records. That was something else that was out there. But nope, that's not what we're doing anymore.
The truth is no one can do what we do. And there is no team like our team. Myself, I have 15 years experience in healthcare and software management, in AI. Jonathan?
Yeah, I spent the last decade of my career with McKesson Specialty Health. This is actually where I saw the problem. I traveled across the country seeing this in clinics that we would acquire. And then our fantastic third co-founder couldn't be here today, Rachel Brown, Swiss Army Knife of Talent, former founder of a health and wellness company.
She's a much more polished co-founder, actually. All right, what is our traction? Our traction, since we raised our pre-seed in April, we've gotten to 600K in ARR. We've processed over 100,000 patients through our platform. We have 11 customers, 28 clinics, and we think we're going to hit 1 million ARR by the end of the year.
Oh, we're going to hit it.
Okay. My name is Patrick. This is Jonathan. We're co-founders, Titan Intake. We're on a mission to help 100 million patients gain access to quicker and better care.
Thank you.
We are going to throw it to Q&A for the judges now.
So if you were to get the $1 million, like what would be your use? How would you use it?
We would obviously have more runway at that point, but we would probably look at honing more of our go-to-market. That's really what we're in right now, go-to-market fit, I would say. So we would probably increase the speed on the experiments we're doing, and then when we crack it, we would hire like a Series A level team. If we actually had the $1 million, we'd probably skip our Series A.
Can you restate your value proposition for me real quick at a high level?
Yeah, basically we take patients today without us take about 20 minutes to be processed into a clinic once all the records are sent. We bring that down to 30 seconds. And then by doing that, we give our clinics net new revenue and more
Got it.
appointments.
So you're not moving data between clinics and systems.
We are reading all the records, structuring it into data, and creating the chart instantly. So we are moving it into the receiving system.
But not between different software systems.
Correct.
Got it. Okay.
So the clinics that you're selling to, they have capacity for more appointments? Is that how this drives revenue for them?
This is a great question. So we learned very quickly that smaller clinics do not. So our ICP is very focused on practices of 15 or more, because those practices, and even especially the larger and larger ones, have a management layer that's constantly pushing capacity, constantly hiring mid-levels. So yeah, that's why we honed our ICP.
Got it. And can you share any usage metrics from the customers that are onboarded? Like, how's it going? How often are they using it?
Yeah.
They use it every day. So, I mean, that's one of the great things about our product and why it's so sticky is they come in every day, and it's just part of their process that they do today. And like Patrick said earlier, it speeds it up. And, you know, when they were doing before us at 20 minutes per record, now it's 30 seconds to a minute per record. It greatly allows them to do other things that they weren't doing before and focus more on patient care.
Yeah, but to be clear, after 2 weeks of adoption, they use it all day, every day, these referrals teams, and they have to do their jobs.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much. That's it for the end of questions.
Dom, I had one.
Okay, thank you so much, Titan Intake. Next to the stage, we are going to welcome Safety Radar.
Hi, everybody. All right, here we go. My name is Garrison Haining. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Safety Radar. I'm an Army officer by background, and when I was preparing for deployment to Iraq, in the 6 weeks leading up to deployment, we lost more soldiers to accidents than we lost in our first quarter of being overseas. This was one of the big culprits. You do not expect to lose soldiers to accidents. You expect it in combat, but these are paper risk management forms, and this is how the Army tracked all of our risks in pre-deployment and even in combat. This is called the DD-2977. When I moved into the energy industry in 2014, I saw the same thing in the energy sector. Well, there we go. About 25% of the U.S. workforce works in hazardous industries, so this is a problem across industry. There's a lot of reporting, but there's always this human in the funnel who's trying to track all of these papers, track all of these risk signatures, figure out how to apply those to the industry, mitigate these risks, keep people safe. This is a big problem for industry. Every 6 seconds, somebody's getting injured on an American job site. Every 2 hours, somebody is getting killed, and it's about $160 billion cost to industry due to lost time, lost productivity. Doesn't even take into account the human tragedy. So my co-founder and I started working on a platform that does 3 things. We wanted to figure out a way to move that funnel out, get off of the paper, and start getting these risks tracked in a way where AI could play an important role in that safety team. We say that we do 3 things at Safety Radar. We collect information in a way AI can use it. We do that either with our customers' risk management platform. If they don't have a risk management platform, they can deploy our own. We have an AI that we've trained off of all of that company-specific safety data. So every report that comes in, near miss, good catch, incident reports, hazardous conditions, we run all of that through our AI, and the AI does actual severity analysis, potential severity, causal assessment, probability of that potentially severe incident occurring, and something called PSIF exposure, which is an industry standard looking at potential serious injury and fatality exposure. Then we communicate all of that back on our dashboard using real-time alerts and tracking all of those risk signatures so they can see their risk signature in real time. This is our team up here. Between us and our contractors, we've got a little over 80 years of risk management experience, and we're headquartered right here in Tulsa. It's a pretty big market. If you look there, the EHS software market, which is environmental health and safety software, is almost an $8 billion annual spend. When we get down into our SOM, our specific market, our beachhead that we're working on is the energy sector. So safety software in the energy sector is about a $700 million a year annual spend in the United States. And again, 25% of the US workforce works in those hazardous industries. Right now, we're a B2B company. We just finished a $1.5 million fundraising round. We have processed over 200,000 reports on our platform, and in the past 6 months, we've gone from $2,400 a month in revenue to this month, $21,000 a month in revenue. So appreciate your time and excited to answer questions.
Yeah, thank you so much. Let's throw it to questions from our judges.
Great presentation. Wanted to learn more about the, if people don't utilize your technology, kind of what is the average cost of that workers' comp kind of scenario that that company might be in? The second question to that, within the energy sector, is your sub-industry focus like manufacturing and construction? Where you're kind of seeing some of the most incidents in that regard?
Great questions. On the first one, regarding cost of those incidents, the cost keeps going up. So it used to be, it was about $1.5 million if somebody passed away on a job site, about $60,000 if there was an OSHA reportable injury. That's now gone up. United Airlines just had a fuel worker hit on their tarmac and ended up having to settle for a little over $350 million, and that person did not pass away. So it's a growing problem for all of these companies. We started in the energy industry with E&Ps, drillers. We actually have manufacturers and construction companies on the platform now, and we've got a major aerospace customer who's going to be doing a pilot who has a big presence here in Tulsa.
I'm curious, how are you utilizing AI?
We have a proprietary AI model. So we use large language models to read all of those reports and do the assessment for actual potential, all of those causal assessments. We assess on 36 different causes with each one of those reports that comes through the system. All of those causes are then correlated with those potential severities, potential serious injury and fatality exposures. So that AI is pulling out those causes, pulling out those severities, and then you can see those causes and you can go as the safety person in 5 minutes at the start of your day, what causes have the highest potential severity right now? What do I need to focus on? And go direct to your people in the field to mitigate.
All right, I think that that is it for questions. Thank you so much. Let's give a hand for Safety Radar. So much amazing stuff today. We have another exciting startup to share with you guys. I have the pleasure of welcoming to the stage Carbonext.
Hi, Tulsa. I'm Dr. Larry, founder, CEO, Carbonext Inc. At Carbonext Inc., we are turning carbon waste into black gold. Let me introduce you to graphite. Graphite is a key element of current transition to clean energy. It is the largest single component of every commercial batteries. And the application is what? Battery anode. Currently, there is a massive demand for graphite. And as we can see, compared to last year, the annual global consumption of graphite is expected to increase by 10 times. But here's the catch. The United States is about to miss out of this massive market. Why? Because the United States relies on foreign countries for graphite supply. That is why we are running into national security crisis of graphite deficit. Although there are possibilities of mining graphite, but that will lead to environmental degradation and a lot of legal battles from native. So there's a need for innovative ideas, and that is where you have Carbonext. At Carbonext, we have developed a patented technology that utilizes readily available materials in the United States to produce 3 advanced materials for clean energy. Our process is 100% domestic, and we compete in a growing market. Currently, last year, the market was at $23 billion, and we believe Carbonext is well positioned to capture a significant portion of this market. And what have we done so far? So I have the graphene here. This is a three-dimensional graphene. We have been able to demonstrate what do you call it, a scalable, cost-effective, and sustainable production of graphene. We did not stop there. We have also been able to integrate graphene into battery to produce this battery. And our result shows that we can compete favorably with the state-of-the-art graphite. And now we're looking to advance from, problem solution fit to, we've done prototypes. Now we're looking to product market fit, which we are looking to pilot scale, to have a pilot scale here in Tulsa. And also from there we go to commercial demonstration through collaboration with coal plants, automakers, battery manufacturer, aerospace, and the military. Of course, our team is composed of experienced individuals. I have a PhD in material science, and I have support from individuals that have experience across suitable industries. We compete with big industries, Sila, but Carbonext offers favorability in terms of cost effectiveness, scalability, and sustainability, and also national interest. Now, how do we generate revenue? Through partnership with coal. Coal is facing big issue right now. With our collaboration with them, we can revive coal industry and bring jobs back to America. And what we're doing, from there we go into pre-production and licensing, where we could license this technology to each coal industry for $1 million. $1 million with 216 coal plants. That is $200 million every year. Now, we've raised $720,000 so far, which enable us to do micro prototyping.
Thank you so much.
And we're looking for $2 million. Thank you very much. Carbonext.
We're going to throw it to questions from our judges.
I've been asked to ask, who's the buyer?
Yes, the buyers, they are battery manufacturers, automakers like Toyota, Tesla. They are the major buyers because they rely on graphite, which comes from China. So we are the local company here using domestic supply. United States is #1 reservoir for coal anywhere in the world. We could also use byproduct from refineries, but we are focusing on coal plants because of coal plant is shutting down. They need help to revive them, so we are looking to revive.
I may have missed this. Can you clarify, is your technology making a synthetic graphite, or are you using other materials to do what graphite normally does in batteries?
No, our process is one pot off-the-shelf process that utilizes coal, and that's the process. We use non-toxic material, and so we separate 3 material: hydrogenated graphene, and from there we separate the hydrogen to have hydrogen and 3-dimensional graphene, which is a valuable, replacement for graphite.
So, to those companies that you're looking at selling to, is your focus to actually sell this graphite directly to them, or actually license the technology or the graphite to the battery companies and to the other institutions?
We're licensing.
Okay. And what is that license cost that you provide them?
So the license cost is, these are the model goals. We collaborate with coal industry. $1 million each coal industry every year. And also, through the collaboration, we demonstrate product market fit, which will attract auto industry or battery manufacturer. Then we can now secure licensing with them too, so it will be in both ways.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you. All right, you guys, more exciting stuff. Next to the stage, we want to welcome, let's give a warm hand for them, WriteSea.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Leander Howard II. I'm the co-founder and chief marketing officer here at WriteSea, and we are on a mission to empower everyone in the world to find meaningful work. By show of hands, anybody in the room search for a job ever? All right, then you're probably familiar with the problem we're trying to solve at WriteSea. It takes on average 5 months for someone to land a new job. They can spend up to $600 to find career services support. 55% of people experience burnout during their job search process. It takes 5 to 10 hours to search for a job and actually optimize their resume and prepare for interviews. And only 87% of people will ever hear back from the employer. WriteSea is solving this problem by making career services accessible and affordable for everyone through recruitment platforms, educational institutions, and government agencies. We have 2 unique ways we do this. Product 1 is called White Label Managed Career Services. So we partner with job boards through APIs in our free resume review to offer candidates tangible feedback on how their resume will be seen by potential employers, giving them feedback on their impact and experience, language, best fit jobs, and the ATS. And inside that resume review, candidates can decide on whether or not they want to purchase career services, and WriteSea keeps 70 to 80% of that revenue generated through all of our partnerships. We also have an AI career mobility suite, which is an AI resume builder, cover letter generator, interview prep, and a salary negotiation assistant to supercharge the job search for candidates, all powered by AI. Now you're probably wondering, how do we make money? We partner with educational institutions on a licensing fee basis, where we charge them between $8 to $20 per year per student. And we also partner with job boards, and all the revenue generated through the channel partnership, we keep 70 to 80% of that revenue. WriteSea to date, we have 27 job board partners. We have 2 million resumes in our database. We are looking at a 1.65 million annualized run rate. We're growing 30% month over month. We have 130 job board partners in our pipeline and 100 B2B SaaS clients in our pipeline. Our market is pretty huge. Our TAM is 50 billion, and our serviceable market is about 4 billion. There are thousands of job boards, billions of job seekers, thousands of educational institutions, and about 150 staffing agencies that we're looking to partner with. Our competitive landscape right now, we have one major competitor called Talent Inc. They actually got bought out by a PE firm for $250 million, so we're feeling pretty lucky there. And we're actually taking their customers day by day. We're currently raising a $3 million seed round to accelerate our growth. We'll spend 30% on general and administrative expenses, 20% on research and development, and 50% on sales and marketing. And our team consists of 50 years of experience in the industry, in the HR tech industry, and we're supported by executive CEOs and industry veterans. Thank you.
All right. Let's have some questions from our judges.
Great presentation. Clearly using LLMs on the back end there.
Yes, sir.
Can you talk to me about how the LLM processing cost factors into your cost of services, and if you have plans on looking at different, more fine-tuned models to bring that down over time?
Yep. So right now we're using Llama 3.1 from Meta. We're actually switching to, I think today we got an email talking about we're switching from like ChatGPT, I think it's 4.0, the mini version, to cut on cost. Does that answer your question? Yeah, absolutely. Okay.
So do you generate revenue when a job seeker purchases an AI resume review package?
So yeah, the job seeker, so it's a free value add, right, through the job board, right? If you know anything about a job board, you have employers on one side and candidates on the other. We found a unique way to monetize the candidate side of the marketplace. So we offer a free resume review of value. The job seeker reads that free resume review and they purchase services. The services can range from $100 to $1,000, and we keep 70 to 80% of that revenue, and then give the job board the other 20% or 30%.
So so I guess at that point a job seeker could also go themselves to GPT and plug in their resume and say make it better. So like
100%.
What's the extra value you guys are
I
creating
mean,
that makes them pay for it?
So that's a great question. So ChatGPT, you have to know what to actually put in ChatGPT, right? So that's a whole process in itself, knowing the prompts. We take away that by working one-on-one with a career coach. So you're working one-on-one with somebody throughout the entire process of your job search, instead of using like an AI tool to do it for you.
So you guys have career coaches just everywhere that are on call for people?
Exactly. Yep. So previously, myself and CEO ran resume writing companies, scaled it to millions of dollars in like 3.5 years. But we have like a network of 3,000 writers and coaches across the nation. Yeah, that we leverage to do services on behalf of the candidates. But we're eventually going to change that and use AI to streamline that process and cut costs.
All right, you guys, that's the end of those questions. Can we give a warm round of applause for WriteSea? I can't believe we're at this part of the night. You guys have become my best friends, and this is really sad and hard. No, I'm just kidding, but I do love you guys, and I'm glad you're here. We have one last pitch. We're so excited. This event has been wonderful. Can we give a warm round of applause to LeadMeNot?
Digital brings such goodness to our world, but it also has the power to destroy. We start by wanting a little entertainment. We find ourselves binge watching for 5 hours straight. We start by wanting a little romantic connection. We find ourselves in a series of meaningless hookups. Emotional breakdowns, tanked productivity, broken relationships. Healthy desires can be met through unhealthy means with devastating consequences to follow. What if we could consume technology without it consuming us? That's LeadMeNot. LeadMeNot is a digital wellness platform that leverages accountability, radical transparency, and artificial intelligence to fight destructive digital habits holistically. So imagine you're on hour 3 of a Netflix binge, it's past midnight, and boop, LeadMeNot sends you a notification reminding you of your goals and how you felt the last time you were in this position. And your accountability partner, a trusted friend, also reaches out to you to encourage you, to support you, to love you on your journey. This is a proactive, holistic approach that fosters introspection to get us to look deeper to the why behind our digital behavior. And this is an approach unlike that of existing solutions. We're building the de facto platform for healing across all digital brokenness. So when you look at app or site blockers, they're focused on behavioral change, surface level change. We're focused on change that we believe is only possible holistically by looking at the body, which includes our behavior, as well as the heart, the mind, and the soul. So digital wellness is an $18 billion market opportunity, but we've been focused in and honed in for MVP, the initial $5 billion market of those who are struggling with and seeking freedom from unwanted sexual behavior. And we monetized 11 months ago, and as an Android-only app without any marketing, we have 3,500 active users. We just surpassed 1,300 month in recurring revenue. That's growing at 15% growth month over month. And we have over 300 million data points from users' device activity to fuel our future AI efforts. So we offer consumers 2 subscription packages, yearly and monthly, $48, $8 respectively. And in the short term, we are focused intentionally on growth. We want to grow revenue, reach, and value prop. We actually just started iOS development this week that's spearheaded by UC Berkeley. But in the near term, we want to leverage AI and automation to their full potential, where we can take data from multiple sources, your wearable, your personal calendar, your phone, your computer, to be able to reduce relapse and get ahead of crossing our digital boundaries. We can look at our physical and digital lives to understand how they come together to tell a better story. And I believe we can tell a better story because of my story. My struggle with digital addiction, specifically online dating. I thought I wanted romance, but what I got and what I sought was empty, lustful intimacy. But the core of what I wanted then and what I want today hasn't changed. It's to be known and loved in real, authentic ways, but it's no longer distorted. And I have a team of men and women who are committed to helping the world seek and find that same freedom. So we've taken a bootstrap micro-lending approach to date, but we're seeking at least $500,000 to expand our pre-seed investment to bring LeadMeNot to its full vision. So if you want to help lead the world not into temptation, but freedom from destructive digital behavior, partner with us.
All right, judges. It's time for some questions. Questions from our judges.
Question. Great presentation, first and foremost. Do you see a B2B play with this, particularly with addiction use centers and also with addiction organizations like AA, even though that's stemming more on the alcohol addiction, but generally there's a connective tissue from one addiction to the other. Are you seeing a B2B play on this side? But also congratulations on the B2C traction.
Yeah, so on the B2B side, there's 2 major channels. So yes, we absolutely see a play there. One is in the addiction counseling arena, right? And then the second is even looking at faith-based institutions across any faith. I think one of the challenges we've had as Android only is when I go to those, when I've gone to have those conversations, that's kind of been a showstopper, right? Because the majority of the US is iOS. So we're confident that when we have iOS in the within the next 3 months, we'll be able to prolong those.
I think this has happened with certain AA programs, but is there a possibility, if you guys have explored it, to actually inject what you're doing from an insurance perspective? Health insurance?
I love that idea. We haven't looked into that. When we go down that path, we will. No, but that's where like I haven't gone down that B2B side yet because of the lack of iOS, but we will.
We maybe have time for one more question.
Considering the brain science of addiction, like, is there any way that research has played into the model that you guys are proposing?
Yeah, there's been research done around the idea of not even just accountability, but the idea of any type of destructive behavior, right? And we think of wellness as a spectrum, but if we talk about addiction specifically, isolation goes into a big part of that, right? So the accountability piece that we require that we don't provide, you have to bring a partner to the table, is based off of that research of, man, we need connection and relationship if we're going to find any semblance of freedom from any kind of unhealthy behavior. But that's that piece of the value prop of like, how do we bake in relationship and more science into how we help users down that path of recovery.
Thank you so much. Well, you guys, that brings us to the end of our pitches. Can we get one huge roaring round of applause for all of our participants today? Yeah. I like those vibes. That's good. That's so good. Okay, well, you're all here to see who won, and ultimately these 4 people in front of us are going to deliberate, take a little bit of time to talk amongst themselves. So we're going to actually invite our judges to leave us to go into a deliberation room right now. We have about 10 minutes, which is going to act as kind of like a makeshift intermission. Grab a drink, go to the bathroom if you need to. Please just make sure that you are back here by like 5:50 for the announcement of our winner. Thank you guys so much. Hey guys, just a 2-minute warning. We're about 2 minutes away from the judges having a decision. So let's go ahead and grab those seats. If you are a part of a pitching team, please join us on the back credenza wall so that you have an easy access port to get to the stage. 2-minute warning. Woo! Stay fitted, not quitted. I know. Stay fitted, not quitted. I'm sorry, y'all. I have to keep doing this annoying thing until you quiet down. I love you. All right, everybody. We are about to welcome our judges back out to join us. All right. You guys, this is the moment that we've all been waiting for. Can we give one more round of applause? I love applause for the people. Thank you guys so much for being here today. Just a reminder, for those of you that aren't from our area, we are 36 degrees north, and we are Tulsa's base camp for entrepreneurs, remote workers, startups, and small businesses. And from a missional standpoint, we exist to connect people so that they can grow. This is just one really cool example of what's coming down the pipeline for us. We're going to have a new space come January with more capacity to host impactful events like this that highlight what the startup community in all of Oklahoma is doing. We're just so thankful to Startup World Cup for approaching us with this opportunity. We are so proud of what's happening in our incubator and all across Tulsa, across our partners, and we're just thankful. We're so thankful to have been approached with the opportunity to showcase all of the special things happening not only in Tulsa, but across Oklahoma as a whole. But anyway, I am gonna stop yapping, because you didn't come here to see me yap. You came here to see somebody get a check. So yeah. I'm sorry. I got a signal from somebody and I choked just then. I did not know what the signal was. All right, they are writing the check right now. Drum roll, I would say drum roll please, but we're adults. Clapping! Again, thank you so much to our sponsors, OCAST, Cabin Boys, The Verge, Cortado Ventures, Midcon VC, Bank of Oklahoma, and Oklahoma Commercialization Network. Can we get one more round of applause for them? And you guys, these are our judges. I'm going to pass it over to Devin. Thank you all so much for being here today.
Okay, how's everybody doing? It's been a long wait for the judges. It was tough. Last thing, I don't know if you guys already did this. Let's give a round of applause though to all. Did you guys already do that? Okay. All right. I'll tell you what. If everybody could just give a round of applause to all. I'm kidding. All right. No, seriously. I just want to say, like, if we could send all of those teams to San Francisco, we would, right? I mean, what a fantastic day. It shows the quality of the companies and the startups in Oklahoma. I think we have a lot to be proud of as a state and the community, and I want to thank all our sponsors again. I want to encourage everybody to go to the after party. It's going to be a lot of fun, a lot of food, a lot of drinks. There's Cabin Boys next door. Make sure you do that. And now I'm going to invite Anita from Generator to come up on stage Julian, come up as well. Okay. After a lot of deliberation, very intense, a lot of scoring, a lot of calculations. There were some standard deviations in there. I mean, there was a lot of stuff happening back there. We have a winner. So, Anita, I'm going to let you announce our winner of the Oklahoma Startup World Cup Regional Finals.
So the winner is Palm Plug.
Yeah, Palm Plug. Where's the Palm Plug team? Palm Plug. Wow. Come up, come up, come up. Thank you very much. All right, Anita. All right, we're going to get a picture. We have an incredibly large check to hand you. Awesome. Thank you, Julian. Thank you, Anita. All the judges, thank you for doing a great job. Really tough. Thank you all for being here. Reagan?
And do not forget, the party does not stop here. Me and the rest of the programs team are headed over to Cabin Boys. Free food, free drinks. Come with us.